This is the first time I've been in Switzerland and had a really bad headache. I've had it for like 4 hours at this point. I'm on hour 8 of the migraine. It's dark in my room. And I didn't go to dinner because when I stood up I got nauseous. But they just brought me it. And I'm really hungry, but also I'm afraid I'll throw it up. After my very traumatic headache episode on Thursday, Friday we took off for Salzburg. The train ride was absolutely beautiful as usual. Any train ride through Switzerland and Austria, it turns out, is going to be stunning. We had quite a long train ride. It was about 7 hours to get to Salzburg. But again, the sights totally made up for it. Our hostel was super close to the train station, and since it was so late, we just grabbed some gyros at a little restaurant by the train station. It actually started snowing on the way back to our hostel from dinner, so that was kind of cool. Alright, it's our first day in Salzburg, and I'm going to have a little run-in. Once I got back from my run, we went and got breakfast at Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks because they were both really close to our train station and we hadn't had them in forever. So got a donut from Dunkin' Donuts. It was amazing. And then some coffee. And then we headed over to the Old Town part of Salzburg where we saw Mozart's house. We walked around, did a little bit of window shopping, and then we actually headed up to the fortress that is famous in the city. We got an amazing view of Salzburg. We got to see the inside of the fortress, which ended up kind of being like a little village. It was really cool. You had to ride the funicular up to it, which was fun to do. Who doesn't like to do that? And the whole experience was like less than $20 US, and it gave us something to do for like 2 hours. This view was definitely my favorite part of the entire fortress experience. After the fortress and after walking through a bit more of Old Town, we went to this burrito place for lunch, which was absolutely incredible. And then we just continued to walk more around the Old Town, especially down by the river, which was very pretty. We left the Old Town area and then headed over to these gardens. I forget the name of them, but I'll put whatever they were called on the screen. But they were super pretty, and I can only imagine that they're absolutely beautiful in the summertime. Later that evening, we tried to go sledding, and upon recommendation by the hostel concierge, we took a train to this location, which apparently had the sledding. We got there, tried to get a taxi to the sledding place. Absolutely no one knew what we were talking about. There was a pretty severe language barrier. A lot of people didn't know what we were saying, but those who did had no idea what a toboggan run was or what we were talking about. So we ended up doing 2 hours of training for absolutely nothing, all decked out in our snow gear, but it's kind of funny to look back on now. Instead of sledding, we treated ourselves to a nice dinner at a rooftop restaurant, which was very amazing. The pasta was some of the best I had in Europe, and then we had the traditional Austrian apple strudel with vanilla sauce. And then the next morning we got up early and decided to head back into the old town, where we got breakfast at the Cafe Tomaselli, which is one of the oldest cafes in Salzburg. I got an ham and cheese omelet and then a coffee. After brunch, we headed into this little bakery shop where we each picked out a pastry. I got this strawberry cake, which was very wonderful. We walked by the river again, and then we checked out of our hostel because our train was at 12:30. And of course, the trip ended with another beautiful train ride.